It started off, I was just a gamer, right? And, I know there's some players, even in our VIP community, who does World of Warcraft. I used to play a game called EverQuest. And I started selling in game items. It's kind of how I got my
Yeah.
chops selling stuff online. Yeah, yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Just going to make sure we are live on the Mega Hot Seat. Awesome. We've got an exciting, very, very exciting live for you tonight. We've got a bit of a. There we go. Live. Pamela, how are you? Mel, Spike, Vicky. I've got to send a message. Jan, how are you? Pamela, Mel. Hope you're well. Jamu, let's get loads of comments going so we can get tons of people on here because we've got a bit of a legend with us tonight. Salam, hope you're well. Okay, so I've got to take my headphones out. I can hear myself on my guests. Joe, hope you're well. Ma, okay, so Melody's watching live. So, why does the banner say every Monday? Because it's the only one I could find on my computer because the computer broke. It's the only one I could find. But we've got a very special guest, a bit of a legend, or an absolute legend inside OLSP. I'm going to see if I can get a few more people on. He has been a very good friend of mine for 10 years. Okay. This guy knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he's doing. I absolutely love him to bits. And when he talks, you want to try and listen to what he says. Okay. I'm going to let him introduce himself. I'm going to bring him on. But we need to see some more comments, guys. I'm going to bring on the man, the myth, the legend. Howie. Howie, how are you, mate?
Good, good. What's going
That was
on?
really off-putting listening to my voice coming back because you had it on loud. That was
Oh, I
yeah.
did?
You had what? That was coming through, and I was like, man, all I can hear is my own voice.
Oh, wow. These earphones are amazing. I didn't even hear it.
Didn't you? It was weird. I could hear it coming through. Anyway, awesome. I'm happy. I don't know why I never thought of bringing you on the hot seat because you are. Well, we've been friends for a long time now, best buddies. Online, and must be 10 years.
Uh, yeah. Let's see. I had an old computer I was pulled some files off of in 2014. I was reading something that you wrote.
2014.
So, yeah, 2014. Yeah, so it was definitely 24 years plus. Sorry, 10 years plus.
10 years plus. Bloody hell. That's I don't know if that's great or worrying. Because that's flyby, doesn't it? So Howie, for everyone who doesn't know you, okay, tell your side of it. You're quite modest, then I'll tell my side. So tell everyone about yourself.
Ah, ah. With what? In regards to what?
Just
The affiliate marketing space?
yeah, tell everyone about your experience. Tell everyone how we met each other, what you've done,
Uh,
all the stuff you've tried, your
I've done.
history.
I've done everything. Everything that there is to do, I've done. It's funny. It started off. I was just a gamer, right? And I know there's some players, even in our VIP community, who does World of Warcraft. I used to play a game called EverQuest, and I started selling in-game items. It's kind of how I got my
Yeah,
chops selling stuff online. Yeah, yeah. So I go play the game. I collect items inside the game, and then I go to a place. It was called playersauctions.com. it was kind of like the eBay of digital goods, and that's kind of how I was like, hey, I can make some money with this keyboard. Fantastic. But I did everything from one of my big ones was AdSense. I got started doing some gray hat stuff where I used to mass publish pages and I'd redirect all the traffic from the search engine to a single page, and I made some AdSense revenue. Actually, I made a lot of AdSense revenue. But I've done what everybody did, at least who grew up in the time period that we did in this space was, building web. We used to call them Web 2.0 properties at the time. Remember Squiddo
Yeah.
lenses or hub pages or yeah, yeah. So used to do just a traditional uh, what do they call it? Article marketing. My first real online sale was a pair of rain boots on Amazon.com. At that time, it was called. It was before Amazon was around. It was called Endless Shoes.
Endless shoes.
That's how old I am. And Endless Shoes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But at that time, they paid you like 14, 15% commissions, and Amazon pays you what,
If
3.5%.
they pay you. If
It's
they
not.
pay you.
I always got paid, but yeah, yeah, that was the first physical product that I sold. But then, search engines got tough to rank in, and I turned to list building. Yeah,
That's
I thought it was gonna be the hardest thing I ever did. I was like, I can't sit down and write email every day. Little did I know. I was gonna be sending out, dozens of emails per day, every single day. Uh, I love the solo ad scene. It was the best thing ever. I really enjoyed list building and solo ads. It was fun. But yeah, and I wound up hanging out with you, growing up in the space in the solo ad space. Yeah, that was fun.
so.
I had a good time.
It was awesome. When we think back, I don't even remember how we met. I have no idea. Same as Steve. I was like, Steve, how did we start working together? And I can't remember, but Steve told me. I don't know if you remember.
I met Steve on, that's how old we are, on a
On a
PHPBB.
forum,
A PHP, on a bulletin
bulletin
board,
board,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we had a guy who was kind of our coach. I mean, he was terrible at his job,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
But I don't remember who it was, Steve or I, but we started private messaging each other on the Facebook. I'm not on the Facebook, sorry. On the PHP message board. And we just kind of became friends. And actually, he was the one who got into list building before I did. And he was like, yo, you should take a look at this. So that was, I think I had just gotten involved in list building at that time. And he was like, hey, you should take a look at this. And it was a coaching, we won't say his name. He's a douche. Oh, I shouldn't say that on your live. I shouldn't use bad
No,
words.
no, we had the same coach. I think if that's who you're referring to.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, the same
Yeah.
coach.
Not very good.
But yeah, even then it was about the community though. Yeah, it was all those. It wasn't just you. There was 5, maybe 10 guys also. You know, a lot of them dropped off, but
I spoke to Steve 2 hours ago. Isn't that weird? Like how long we've been working together and everything. I spoke to Steve literally 2 hours ago. I speak to him probably 4 times a week.
Steve's a great
He's an
fellow.
amazing guy. He is. I met up with him a few weeks ago. So if you didn't know, guys, in fact, this will be an interesting conversation because a lot of people, what we really do, is white hat. I'd say it's pretty white hat stuff what we do now. But tell people what white hat, grey hat, and black hat is. Tell them some of the stuff. Let's share some cool stuff that we used to do, shall we?
Oh well, some of the I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. White hat is just traditional A B C
Yeah.
D. You know, you just follow the path, and you know, it's uh, it's literally kind of like obeying an authoritarian, right?
Yeah. Through AdWords or Facebook.
You know, you got yeah, yeah, you got Google AdWords, right? Everybody tells you these are the rules, and if you want to play my game, you got to follow them, and you're like, but your rules suck. You know, there's just different ways to do things. So, I mean, even Aweber accounts. So, geez, I don't even know where to start. Like,
Start
you know,
with
gray hat stuff.
start with AWeber. Let's start with AWeber. Simple one.
Oh, AWeber, I got a fantastic meme. Yeah, I got a fantastic meme where it's a guy from Office Space where he's shaking his hand, you know, like it's his first day in the office. He's like, "Yes, this is my 25th AWeber account that I created." Yeah. Yeah, AWeber was brutal. Nobody likes affiliate marketing, which I can't understand why. I mean, I do understand why. It's a much bigger conversation than this
That
call,
is,
but
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, they hate you and they want to get rid of you. So yeah, so you just wake up in the morning and you find out your AWeber account's closed, your autoresponder's closed, and you have to set up another one, or you'd figure out ways how to. I actually paid. I don't remember the how much it
About
was.
$100.
It was either five
Was
hundred.
it 500? I thought it was
It
100
was either it was either $500 or $1,000
for each one.
to have somebody teach me how to
Oh,
make my own
yeah.
AWeber accounts. The skirt,
The bands.
the IP identification, yeah, to leaking IP addresses and tunneling through, so you could use virtual credit cards to set up new
Good old days.
AWeber accounts with fake email addresses. Yeah, yeah, anything to keep those AWeber accounts pumping because clicks were currency and it was good money.
Exactly. The reason I bring this up, Howie, like the reason I thought it'd be good to talk a little bit about grey hat. That's more grey hat, and that's not really black hat or class it as. But white hat is like you stick by the rules. Grey hat is where you skirt around the rules. Black hat is more or less illegal. I don't know if you have the same definitions between white, grey, and black hat.
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, black cat. I don't know about illegal, but they certainly don't
no,
like
they
you.
definitely don't like you. And it does often verge on the borderline of illegal. I'd say some of the stuff you see black hat people just look, ooh, that's a bit, that's a bit close. But the
Oh,
reason I brought it up, like a lot of people, I speak to every day. So we come from an era where we worked stuff out ourselves, didn't we? We had to work it out. We had this foundation of knowledge, didn't we? Because we've been through getting it all sorted out. We knew what the end goal would be. We could we had this foundation knowledge, but there was no instruction booklet how to do it, was there?
oh, definitely not. And to be honest, if I had a gimmick or you had a gimmick, we weren't telling each other.
No, we weren't. How would be the person that would find it out, though?
Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, you used to be able to sneak around in people's directories and pull all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you can't really do that too much no more.
You can't do it as much, but one of the things people don't do enough. So, one of the things that people definitely don't do enough is look at what other people do. They're kind of looking at them. A lot of people looking at them, they're like, "Oh, that looked good. I better buy that." Instead of looking at them, thinking, "Oh, how do I repeat that so I make money?" 'Cause-
Oh, that's my favorite part, especially when you're reverse engineering
Mhm.
funnels. And then all of a sudden you catch with your eye like a little
Yeah,
trick. And you just be like, "Oh, how did he do that?" And then you go looking for the answer. That was the fun part.
I did it. I don't know if you know this, Harry, but it would be awesome to do I don't know, a training or something, just showing people the things, the fun we used to get up to. But I did a 2 day live event showing people what we used to get up to about 5, 6 years ago.
Oh, well, I mentioned earlier I had to dig in an old PC and I found something, and I found the little script that I thought was super fun from those days when we were doing the fencing. It was History Stealer.
History stealer, explain that.
Right, so you go and you click a link, right, and then you hit a page, and then you decide, I don't want to be on this page. So you hit your back button to go back to the page you were looking
Yeah.
at, but this script would stop. It was a history stealer, so I can
Be the
basically steal the
history.
history and be the history and send them to the URL that I would have sent them to anyway, regardless if they hit their back button or
Yeah.
not. So yeah, I guess that's a little gray hat, but when you're trying to pick up those half of a percent or 1% increases in your output, yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, so people, because I know how much So tell people how much, because pretty much always had a full-time job when you did this, haven't you? Yeah,
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
always had a full-time
yeah.
job. Tell people how much your most successful year was revenue-wise.
The best year I did. Everybody needs to slow down. This is gross revenue. Gross revenue. But I did 1.2 million.
1.2 million, which is awesome because you said you had a full-time job, like you had a family, and you've got you done it all from a little cupboard, basically, didn't you?
Yeah, little time. I got to put up a green screen so nobody can see my little cupboard. Yeah.
Mind you, I've got a
Yeah,
little bat
yeah,
cave, and it shows you
yeah.
what can be done with ingenuity, um, and just that want to succeed. And I know you play it down a lot, but there's not. Although, especially when we were around, there weren't many people doing 1 million a year back then, was it? Like there weren't, especially in our space.
Oh well, that was a couple years after like learning, growing the business. Like you had to do that kind of revenue selling, especially solo ads. You really kind of you had to. Hey, most people don't know, but everybody. Well, Wayne sells his own traffic, but you go and you join these programs where they have like this done for you traffic. It was just guys like me. They didn't have their own lists. They say that there was, I'll send you traffic from my list. They were brokeraging off of persons like myself, like you,
Yeah,
and God forbid, they'd have you signed an NDA so you didn't tell anybody.
and that's all they still do, Harry. That's
Yeah,
all they
yeah,
still
yeah.
do because creating traffic. I know people out there like create. Well, you know what people like. Um, Terry says almost spent my coffee out at 1.2 million. That's revenue. I know how much of that was profit, and it's still a bloody good figure. I know how much of that was profit. It's still pretty awesome. Um, but guys, let's ask Howie some questions because Howie is one of the what I'd say you're one of the most respected members for a reason because you're always looking to help people. What would you say to people, Howie? Because we've been, I've done this freaking too long now, and I've moved into different, I've done paid ads, I've done solo ads, I'm now doing whatever the hell this is. We all do, what would you say to someone? Because me and you are on the same page with many things, aren't we? What would you say to someone now starting out, okay, who wants to be successful? Like they want, that real shortcut. What would you say to those people? Honestly,
Uh, Focus on one thing.
hmm yeah,
Quite honestly, yeah, and full immersion.
full immersion. Um, what would you say is the shortcut? Let's say we're on the same page. What would you say is the real and only shortcut?
Sit down, get it done, do it yourself. Let's go. Don't look for somebody else to do it for you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Sit down. I mean, even in the morning with the morning coffee, I'll just wake up and dive right in. I got a family to raise. I got little boys, a wife to keep happy, two little annoying dogs who yip all day, and then I go to work for 10, 12 hours. Yeah, no. But yeah, I still find plenty of time to be online all the time. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not hard. Too many people. They're looking at I wouldn't say we're influencers. I'd say we're internet marketers. That's what we are. I don't actually like the term influencers, but a lot of people look at these influencers, don't they? And they're all, there's my car, there's the beach. All it takes is 7 seconds a day, and you're a millionaire. And a lot of people buy into that. But what they really need to realise is, I mean, how much work have I put in, Howie?
More than me.
Uh,
A lot more than
yeah,
me.
tons of work, guys.
Once in a while, yeah, once in a while I'll hit him up and be like, "Hey, why don't you take a break?"
And I do sometimes. I am in a few days.
Yeah.
It takes, guys, to reach your goals, okay? One thing, like Howie was very good at, once he had that foundation of knowledge, okay, you kind of start, when you start out, you've got new knowledge. Going from zero to something is tough, and you need to build a foundation of knowledge. I went through this with a student earlier who's new. you have this kind of, you've got to build a foundation of knowledge. You're not going to make much commissions whilst you build that foundation. But then when you start making commissions, it starts making sense. That's when small things can turn big. Is it small hinges turn big, swing big doors? That's the saying, isn't it?
Sure.
That's when it happened. Too many people are looking to go from 0 to 10,000 a month in their first frigging month. Lots of people out there are saying it as well, aren't there? Lots of people are saying it. I've never seen anyone really do it consistently. You might see someone lucky do it. You might see someone lucky. There's loads of shady stuff going on, which I won't go into. But it takes real work, doesn't it? That's kind of what most people are missing out on, is the immersion, the actually doing the friggin' work, doing the stuff. Would you agree, Howie?
Yeah, yeah. I had somebody in VIP come to me and ask me, how do I spend less time talking to unqualified people? I said, well, learn how to qualify them. So go spend a lot of time talking to unqualified people until you learn. That's, yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing
that's
like
the secret
nothing
sauce.
like experiencing it yourself and going through that pain, is there? Because that's what teaches you that pain. Because all people that do sell, okay. So let's say you start affiliate marketing, okay. So you start affiliate marketing there, guys. You start getting in pain, okay. You're gonna have to go through pain. Would you agree, Howie? Done something you don't want to do.
Uh, listen, it's awful talking to people you don't want to, but you gotta, you gotta, you gotta get in there and you gotta learn. You need to have, it, if you want to target 10 people, you got to talk to 200 people to understand those 10 people. Yeah, I mean, really, that's direct response. You can go through and you could try to qualify somebody, but until you understand how to qualify them, and the only way to do that is to really understand your demographics. Once you understand your target audience demographics, it does change rather quickly.
Yeah. So Melanie asked, how did you juggle this around a full-time job?
Uh, I maximize my 10 to 2,
Your what?
10 p.m. to 2
Oh,
a.m.
okay.
Maximize my 10 a. Yeah, maximize my 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. for sure.
What did I? What?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I can't remember because I don't even know how much I was doing in my full time job. I got no idea. But if you want it enough, guys, if you want it enough, you make it work. I was doing this with a full time. I started with next to no money, literally. You make it work, don't you? If you want it bad enough, you will make it work.
Oh well, I kicked off the list building with $500.
Which is, yeah,
It was a $500. This is my budget to get started, and I cranked it all the way out. Yeah, never stopped.
yeah. So it can be done, guys. It really can be done. You've got you got to have that self belief. So because we've got a few more minutes. Did you always believe, like, I always knew I'd make it. I always knew that I would do whatever it takes to get it done, if that makes sense. I didn't care if it took 10 years, if it took a year. I was willing to put in the action. What was your mindset around that? How did you think? What tricks did you plan in your own mind to get the work done?
Oh, it was just a self belief. Yeah, it just was like, I'm just not going to stop. I'm just going to keep cranking. Yeah, it just never stopped. Actually, kind of failing was kind of fun. You learn all kinds of. I mean, I failed this morning working on some stuff that didn't go well. But
Yep.
uh, yeah, get back at it a little bit later on today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. We're gonna shelf that project for a minute. But yeah, I'll go back at it though. I'll never stop because there's an answer. You know.
That is the beautiful thing, is it? That's the beautiful thing. I've failed at something for 2 years. 2 years I've been trying to do this thing. We got it solved start of last week. People don't see like that. You can't see that in the background, can you? But I think the thing we enjoy. I don't give a flying crap about the money. I have more money I can spend. It's not about that. When you make it about, when you replace the dopamine of buying things, that dopamine hit, guys, you get when you buy things. When you replace that with the dopamine of, I got this thing working, I think that's when you know you're an entrepreneur. That's what I feel anyway. I get a buzz from making things work or doing things I didn't know I could do.
I'm not a big WWF guy wrestler in the States, but I forget who the wrestler was. God, he used to go, woo! You know,
I know who you mean.
when you
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I forget his name. But my wife laughs at me, especially when I figure something out or I get something
Yeah.
cranked.
It's
You
the best
know, and
feeling.
it all works, and you sit there, and then you just go,
Yeah.
woo! It's the best feeling. It's so much fun.
That's
I love it so much.
that is the best feeling. I've had it 3 days this week. Ric Flair, there you go.
Ah,
Jesse
yeah, it's
James says
fun.
Ric Flair.
Ric
I
Flair, that's
was
it.
thinking
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Austin, but I couldn't remember. But that's why we do this stuff because the dopamine for us is when you get that one moment, and it is only sometimes 5 minutes, but that is the dopamine rush. Not buying the next shiny object, but working that thing out.
Yeah, yeah, especially when we get that little dance. You get the woo and the dance afterwards. You're super pumped when you got something working that, especially when you're chasing it down for a week or two. It's super
Yeah.
fun.
That is what you need to chase, guys. That is where your adrenaline, your dopamine, and everything needs to be. Because too many people get their dopamine from buying stuff instead of doing the work and failing lots. Because when you fail lots, you're learning, but also it makes the victory much better, doesn't it? Much, much better. The victory's then worth fighting for. Oh,
Absolutely.
awesome. Any more questions for Howie? I've got 1 minute. Otherwise, me and Howie often quite speak for hours on end. Um, Amazing that Howie is coaching me. Thanks for coaching me, Howie. Um, um, every to make sure. Yeah, one thing Howie's really good at, guys, and this is why I think we get on so well, is we can see what people do. Okay, we can see the way people think. We try and stop them from being their own worst enemy. I think that's where we're pretty similar. You're probably a bit more harsh than I am. I think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just, I don't know. It's like I was a big brother, so maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
I got a little brother and a little sister, and if I saw my brother doing something that isn't going to result in a positive result, I'd give it to him. I'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, listen, stupid.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
any more questions? Let us know, guys. I've literally got 1 minute. But if you don't, I mean, all the VIP members will know Howie. If you don't know Howie, send him a message. Get to know him. Send him friggin' millions of messages. Um, he's gone red. He's like, oh, for fuck's
I'm
sake.
glad you find that so funny because that's like that's like
But the real lesson there, guys, is if you really want the outcome, put in the work. It is really that is the shortcut, isn't it? It's the shortcut no one wants to do. To me, it's like it's always obvious what the shortcut is, but everyone just wants to buy a lottery ticket and win the lottery. But work that
Oh,
out.
Beverly asked me, yeah, you could use it, absolutely.
What's that?
I totally forgot what I said. Sorry.
um, keep Howie busy. Yes, that was great. Thanks, Howie. Say thanks to Howie, everyone. If you're inside VIP, like Howie does, he is an awesome guy, and if you're new, you'll get to know Howie. Okay. Awesome, Howie. Thanks very much, mate. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And you got a little bit of knowledge. We could sit here for hours sharing stuff, but unfortunately, you only get 30 minutes. So, cheers, Howie. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. The code
All right,
is
bye.
Howie, Howie. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.